Hi friends and welcome back to the Hangout. It's Sid and I'm so excited to finally be back with a new episode for you guys. It's been a while and I've been super busy, but I'm excited to share some new music, some new artist stories with you. This is a very special one. I've been wanting to chat with these friends for a while, and we got the chance because they had a new EP dropping called Last Birthday. And if you know, it is the band Valley. They are from Toronto, so we're supporting our Canadian friends. And I'm really excited because this episode we had a ton of fun diving into their story and sort of their creation process with creating this EP during the pandemic, and also just them as like a whole ensemble, a group of friends, and just doing what they love. I just had a great time. We also ended the episode with some fun rapid fire, so stay tuned for that. It is definitely the most people that I've interviewed at once. So we have a big special roundtable for band members. It's a good one. So get ready to relax and hang out. Hey guys, it's Sid. Welcome back to the Hangout. Today, we've got a very special, let's say, roundtable of talented Canadian musicians. We've got Rob, we've got Karah, we've got Alex, we've got Mickey, and they form Valley.
What up?
What's up?
Hey, Sid.
Hello. I'm going to give a brief intro summary for those who aren't familiar with you guys, but you all met out of fate because of a studio session that got double booked, and here you guys are now down the road. Y'all are the bestest of friends, doing what you love, making music. You've toured with Len Estella and one of my favorite bands, the band Camino, and you guys were nominated for a Juno in what was the craziest year known as 2020. Congratulations on that.
Thank
and
you.
Now you guys just released your latest EP, Last Birthday.
Yeah.
It's so good. Guys, go stream it. Go stream it.
Please do.
2021 has been an amazing year for you guys already. You guys have been nonstop. I'll start off with this. What does your guys' ideal hangout session sort of look like on your downtime?
Oh, that's fun.
As a band or personally? I guess
personally.
Okay.
I feel like you guys spend so much time together as a band.
We do.
We do. We have this running joke that like we met in that studio in excuse me, in like 2014, I guess. And since then it's just been one giant long hangout. Like it's like we've never stopped hanging out since the day that we met. And it's just like, here we are 7 years later, just still hanging out and like,
wow.
The way it should be.
The way that it should be.
The first essential to a great hangout is great food.
Yeah, always.
It's gotta be good food, good drinks.
Yeah, honestly, like we just got back from LA and we were doing like press and photo shoots and filming these like super exclusive videos that are not out yet. But I know, exclusive drop. We were just doing a bunch of stuff, and like I lived some of my ideal kind of hangout days there. Like we were staying at the Beverly Laurel, and it was just really nice. And I would, wake up, go for a stroll, you got some coffee, you maybe go for a little scoot, you do a little bit of shopping, you get a little Monty's burger, shout out. They're the fucking best.
Yeah.
Monty's good burger. Just, just kind of vibing, maybe go to the
That is such a vibe.
I'm very much about like exploring. I'm the kid on the family trip that's like waking up my parents that want to sleep in and be like, let's go see things. Like I'm in another country. So I'm very much about just like seeing as much as I can and taking in kind of the things around me. But that's kind of ideal for me. It's just coffee, a scoot, a little shop, a little zen time, maybe go through the park,
Nice.
For all of us, that's kind of like a good base.
Alex, what's the
watching
vibe?
Vine comps with friends.
Me, I feel like my vibe varies. I love that vibe that Rob just mentioned. Add to it, finding new food places, obviously. We love doing that. But on the flip side, there's always the downtime or like the end of the day kind of thing where like if a campfire is involved, that's always nice. I don't know, just like
Alex is a big lake house kind of guy.
Oh yeah, he loves his lake
Nice.
house.
ski doing.
Yeah.
Sea doing.
One thing that Alex
Um,
does on tour that I really like, and I want him to keep doing, is whenever we have a day off in a major city or we're doing something, he always takes us to like the Apple store. And I think that's it's
Yeah.
actually no, but it's dope because when like the design and like flagship Apple stores, there's a lot behind them. Like the way they're designed, they're usually implemented in historic landmarks. Like there's a lot going on there. And I feel like that's one thing you do that I always like. It's like, let's go see this Apple store because it's like, you know, in some crazy building from the 1800s and it's all crazy designed and there's new tech.
couldn't
And
have said it better.
I don't know.
There's
It's like,
actually
that's
a
something
really
you do that's really
there's a
fun.
brand new one in LA that I totally forgot to check out, but they just literally it opened when we were there. And there's like this old theater, I forget the name of it, but they turned this theater into an Apple store because it was going to get torn down
Oh.
otherwise.
Oh,
Oh
cool.
my God, that's cool.
So yeah, so they fully restored it, and now they actually use that theater, like the theater portion in the front, or I guess like front, like the where the stage was, as like a area for like presentations and everything like that. But they use the rest of it as like the
Good
actual
morning.
storefront. So it's
What
so
a
cool,
vibe.
yeah.
That's a vibe. Okay, Karah, where are you finding the Vine compilations?
Just YouTube.
Yeah.
Just
60
type
minute.
in Vine comp and just go to just
They're
go down
really
the list.
long. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But like, there's nothing more fun than just like sitting on a couch with like a bunch of people and just like
Watching Vine shit.
ew, I don't know. Let's just watch like OG Vine comps or
Maybe
like
you take a
whatever.
gummy and
Airplay.
watch some vines.
Airplay it.
Exactly. Airplay.
Airplay it, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I
think
see
impromptu hangouts. That's like my
Yes.
ideal situation.
the
Impromptu.
quality time is the love language.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
for sure.
correct. That is correct.
Amazing. Mickey, I just want to talk about your amazing view behind you right now. It looks
Oh, thank
so
you.
pretty in Toronto right now.
Yes. It
On
is.
the
It's
rooftop.
actually it's cold for the first time. Hold on, let me flip this camera. Yeah, we got the CN Tower and the whole city. I live up there.
That's
It's
amazing.
really
Got the
I'm
champagne
very-
poppy suite.
yeah.
Okay, we're
Thank
gonna
you
dive
though.
into
I love Toronto.
yeah. Oh my gosh, we're from Vancouver, so it's like 9 a.m.
Oh,
right now. but-
sick.
Oh, thanks
thank
for getting
you.
up early.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the music. So I started this podcast because music saved my life. I'm sure music has impacted you guys in your own way. This podcast is kind of about discovering how music kind of changes and impacts people in their own ways. So for you guys, how has music sort of impacted you each individually in your own way, or like kind of describe the feeling it kind of gives you when you play it, create it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, music for me is like my best friends and chemistry, I always say. And like, it's very special that like it's actually very special and also so rare that 4 people just like ended up in a room and were like, we could do this thing that like no one can explain. It just like happens. And we export this like sound that makes people cry and dance. And it's just like, when you really get existential about it, maybe on a weed gummy, it really fucks you up. You're like, this is nuts. And yeah, I just feel like music for me personally has always been like a hall pass on like the bullshit of the world. Like I feel like music is one of the only things that gets a hall pass to be like I don't give a fuck about like what your religion is, who you are, what you do. It's like you still are affected by music. And that's always really like gave me some kind of like comfort and solace in what I do. It's like even like, sorry to say, but even Trump listens to music. Like everyone fucking listens to music and is affected by it. And it's like the one thing that I guess like kind of brings us together despite all the other bullshit. So it's always just been that for me, dealing with,
Well, yeah.
with a bunch of shit.
Trump listens to weird music though.
Exactly that.
For sure.
Yeah.
But just to
But
piggyback
it's
off
still
of one
music.
thing that
It's
you
like-
said, Rob, I feel like especially when you bring people together in a room and there's like a performance and you get to just play, like for us, we get to play for fans and forget about the world for however long, the set is. I feel like everybody else is doing the same thing. At least I am when I go see a show. Like I don't really think about everything else that's going on in my life. It's really just a bliss for that period of time. And everybody in that room, no matter, what your beliefs are or whatever, just forgets about it and is enjoying that and having that moment. And yeah, I think that's one really, really key thing for me too.
I guess my relationship with music is such a it just like ebbs and flows. I think sometimes like I prefer not to listen to music and just like kind of observe, like not to be like that guy or anything, but just like, sometimes it's like I feel like my consumption, I like small doses because I feel like I can't, like my attention span needs to be like fully focused on like I can't like dive into an album and if I'm already into an album, you know what I mean? Like it needs to like I need to like go through like very like
You need to like fully
I don't know.
appreciate each piece.
Yeah, like I have trouble like consuming a lot of music at once. Like if I like a song, I'll like put it on repeat and like that's it. That's the only song I listen to.
Very similar.
And then sometimes I just like won't listen to music and I'll be like, I haven't listened to music in like 4 days or something. Like it's weird. And like, because I feel like sometimes, unfortunately, like, not unfortunately, but just the reality of the situation is like when you also are a creator of that art form yourself, sometimes it's hard to just like have escapism when you're just like listening to music or consuming music or
100%.
like whatever. So I find that like my sort of like escapism, and I do really think that film and songwriting are very similar. There's so many similarities
Same
to it.
brain.
Like film is a narrative, you know what I mean? It's just visual, and songs are narratives. They're just audio. So I feel like I can connect more to like film, like watching a movie or whatever, or like diving into like a show or something, like a series, and just like find escapism in that, and then like come back to music. And I don't know, I think what I like about music are the narratives, and I think that it's kind of the same part of the brain, and that's how I get my escapism. But like when it comes to like my music consumption, it's not definitely not as much as I think other of my bandmates, but it's about quality, not quantity, right? So
True.
Agreed.
I think what's really interesting about music for me is like kind of piggybacking off that is, for me, music is like very largely like periods of time in my life. Like if you go, I'm the type of person where it's like, if you go through like a breakup, it's like you have to scrap all, like you just can't listen to the music that you were listening to. It's like all of a sudden you need to like find all new music because you just like, music is so time based for me and like moment based and friend group based and relationship based. Like it's like a very specific period of time in my life. And like if I listen to a song that I was obsessed with when I was like in grade 10, like it'll take me right back there and I will just be like a 15-year-old again, like in my brain. And some songs like trigger really bad feelings, some songs trigger like pure bliss. And it's like, I think I really love when those albums or songs come into your life like unexpectedly. That's like really how I consume music, is like it's attached to like a period in my life. So I'm kind of the same way as Karah. Like if I'm like really obsessed with an album, it's like all I'll listen to because I'm like connecting it to like this moment in my life, and like too much sometimes overwhelms me. Unless I'm in like songwriting production brain, sometimes I'll just like go from song to song and be like picking little pieces out of the songs. But that's more of me being analytical than it is me being like a true like listener or like music fan, if that makes sense.
I feel like I can completely agree with that with like the pandemic and everything last year when we were all at home and you couldn't really travel or like you couldn't experience new things. So when you put on like an old track, you were like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel like I'm traveling, or I feel like I'm here or there. And it was just such a cool journey.
Thank God.
That's a good
music.
point. Yeah,
And
that's a
that
really good
is-
point. I think I definitely did that with a lot of like albums and stuff. But
Oh, me too, for sure.
What were some of your guys' pandemic go-to albums?
Oh man.
my
Casey.
first pandemic album was Immunity,
I
which
mean,
I was so late
Oh,
to the
yeah.
party with that. But like I listened to it like peak pandemic, like when it first happened.
yeah. That was a big
Also, when
thing.
things opened up slightly, like the new Bieber album was just like stupid.
So
Like those
good.
songs,
Yeah, that was it
the
for me
songs
too.
are just undeniably like some of the best pop
Oh,
songs of all
Justice.
time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
did the other did
it's-
Intentions come out the same during the pandemic as well? I don't even know.
I think it came out before.
So
I just
Justice was crazy.
I don't
yeah,
know.
Justice as well.
There's
And
so
also,
many.
I still went back. I just kept going back to Golden Hour. I think I don't know why, just because like it just made me feel calm in like a time of just like raging anxiety of being in a pandemic. It like felt nice to listen to Casey Musgraves
Nice.
and just like chill.
Yeah, yeah, it was all over the place. I went back to like a lot of older albums too because I feel like I had more time to like remember. I like dig through
Mhm.
Spotify and be like, oh yeah, I remember like being in love with this album. Like I went back and discovered like older Coldplay records and yeah, just all over the place. There's an album called by Chance the Rapper called Coloring Book, which like I recently even discovered. That's just like so incredible. There's like the production and just the people on that record are just incredible.
Started an entire era of hip hop with that
A
record.
whole new sound, yeah. So that I've been diving into again. But yeah, I find that's what I did more is I like dove into like older bodies of work that was like, oh, I forgot that I loved this album like in 2013 or 14, whatever.
Mhm.
I did the same thing too. I listened to a lot of Queen for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That it got so popular from the movie. That was
yeah,
right before
yeah.
the pandemic, though, right?
It was like a year before, yeah. And yeah, so I listened to a lot of Queen. I went back and I listened to a lot of like the stuff that I like grew up on. I like listened to a lot of like the dad rock that you know, I guess got from my parents and stuff, and a lot of like the 80s music and stuff. So good.
Feel
But I
good stuff.
also,
We
yeah,
need
oh
it.
no, like a lot of it's feel good. Also, those like rock ballads, those 80s rock ballads are just
They hit.
amazing.
Yeah.
They hit so hard. They're so good.
80s music.
Oh, it's the best. But no, I listened to a lot of I never really got into country before, and so I I expanded my horizon with that a little bit during the pandemic too, which was very interesting, very new for me.
Nice. Did you find like any of the music that you guys were consuming during the pandemic helped influence your guys' EP last birthday?
Hugely, like almost exclusively. Like it was so, yeah. There was a lot of pop music that like I think during the pandemic artists were so desperate to like release music. Like
Mhm.
people took a break for a second and then they were like, oh shit, like we need to do something. So like artists were just pumping up music. Like there was so much new music over the pandemic. At least I found, I might be wrong analytically, but that's what it felt like because everyone was like, well, we can't tour. Like, what can we do? We can put out music. So people were just like pumping up music. And I think pop music really took like a big shift. And like, I think a lot of our music was heavily affected by the music that was coming out, especially because I think so much of the music that was coming out, and I think I'm just having this realization now, or maybe I'm just confabulating, but so much of the music that was coming out during the pandemic was influenced by old music.
Mhm.
Like it feels very nostalgic with the whole like disco thing that happened with Dua Lipa and like with that SZA song and everything and Doja Cat and stuff. And then like so much like just so much vintage vibes were like coming back. And I think we were kind of already on that wave. And that just really like pushed it over the edge for us because there's so much good music coming out.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. I really appreciate like you guys as a group because you guys all interchange your roles within the band. Sometimes it's not like you guys are all dedicated to being like the lyricist or the producer.
Mhm.
You guys are all like, so what does that collaboration sort of look like and kind of like the creation for this EP too?
Yeah, it happened a lot. I mean, it was no different than like maybe or Sexy Doing Better. You know, we, like you said, we're very much like, you know, Karah will write a verse 2, I'll write the verse 1, Mickey will write the drum groove, Alex will write like the bridge melody or the guitar part. Like it's very much this, we were trading, you know, musical chairs or production chairs or whatever you want to call it, like constantly on this, on last birthday. And I just don't think that'll ever change. I can't imagine a world where like, you know, we kind of take over a duty more.
Yeah.
We kind of treat it like we treat our management team and trying to, it's like kind of like, you know, we know where our strengths are and we know how to like, you know, it's just kind of like delegating roles within the band as well, being like, oh, like, Mickey, you do the laptop thing really well. Like, so like, Mickey's on the laptop, like feeding all the information and,
But if Rob pulls something up in Logic, it really comes down to whatever everyone likes the most. You know what I mean? Like if Rob starts a beat in Logic or whatever, and everybody loves it, like there's no, you know what I mean? He'll run the session that day. And like if Karah writes the guitar part, I mean, Rob already said this, but it's really just when everybody goes, oh, that's fucking sick, that's just what we roll with. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter who did it. We kind of just try and leave our egos at the door, because there's no. I don't think we ever like walking into the studio. I don't know if we ever brought our egos into it, because I think we were so obsessed with like just making the best music, and we all knew that like that was kind of the way to do it. Is just whatever everyone likes, we roll with, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you had like your oh shit moment. Do you guys remember the oh shit moment when you guys were like, oh shit, we need to be Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a very specific moment, Karah.
Karah.
We were in my parents' basement, and this was in like 2014 or something, maybe 2014. And Mickey and I were working on this song that is no longer on the internet because, well, yeah, don't go looking for it. But we were working on this song, and we have always done our own recordings. So we had this probably very silly and interesting, for lack of better words, studio setup in my basement, and we were just like messing around with stuff. Rob was there. This was maybe the third or fourth time that we were hanging out, and he started tuning my guitar down, and like we knew what open tuning was, we just never put it into music. And he started like playing acoustic to like this song that Mickey and I were working on, and
this is a whole other vibe than we had
our
explored
jaws
yet.
just like dropped. Yeah, it was this whole other vibe that like we didn't know. We knew we were looking for something new, but we didn't know what it was. It's like trying to think of a color that you've never seen before. But when you know, and Mickey and I just like looked at each other, and our jaws dropped as Rob was playing this acoustic guitar along to one of our songs. And I just like blurted out, I was like, can you be in our band? And like didn't like consult with Mickey. So maybe Rob, maybe we need to still consult that.
It's all Chris Martin. It's all Chris Martin's fault. He taught me that open tuning. So if I didn't learn Coldplay songs, if we ever meet Chris Martin, I'm going to say thank you for teaching me that tuning, because I would not be in a band.
Yeah. We recorded it like right then and there, and like just that is probably the moment that like we started the band. We never like officially branded ourselves as Valley until like probably a year and a bit later, but we were making music, and we knew what we wanted. From that point on, like I didn't know anything more than I knew I was supposed to be in a band with these kids. Like I didn't know much in life, but I knew that. So
that's awesome.
That was a good feeling. Yeah, that was a very magical feeling.
I love that. I want to dive into the EP now. Society, I'll start with that. Such a good song. You guys are crazy. Like
thank you.
I feel like not only with that song, but like all your guys' songs are just so relatable. Like it just like clicks when you listen to it. Specifically for that song, did you guys ever have like the individual realization, or maybe as a group, where you're kind of like, oh, I'm selling my soul, or like this is a constant battle between like making your passion a full-time career? Because like obviously we were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We honestly have that all the time, I think.
Yeah, it kind of comes with, there's two. Oh, sorry, Mickey.
No, it's good. It's good. It's Zoom stuff. You go.
I think with what I was saying earlier, like there's, music is this like emotional hall pass for us to just like release and be like, kind of tune out the rest of the world. But like with that also comes this kind of devil on your shoulder of like, hey, like, listen, like, there's certain formalities and there's certain things that maybe work better than others. And at the end of the day, it's kind of all bullshit. No one knows what the hell is going on, and no one can predict success or what makes a song great or what makes anything great. That's just the real cold hard facts. So it's like, we have dealt with that before, where we've been in a session and, society came from us being in a session and someone being like, listen, like we came to the session with this like emotional baggage. We were going through some pretty tough stuff and we wanted to talk about it. And, we were rebutted with like, oh, like that's too dark, too sad. Let's write something a little more formulaic, a little more, positive that can relate to people, something that can maybe hit radio, like all that kind of stuff starts circling around that kind of that bubble that you create for yourself and why you're in music in the first place. And like, yeah, that's kind of how society came to be. It was kind of our frustration with that. And Karah started writing that bridge that kind of talks about, my lyrics too sad, my chords are too jazz, my thoughts are too dark. It really came from us being like, man, like sometimes it does feel like we're in this safe place of being in a band. We get to express ourselves and be honest. But there is that kind of chip on your shoulder of people telling you, there's certain things that might work better than others. And that was kind of our anthem to just be like, no. And the irony of all of it is that it's wrapped up in like this like clean, slick pop production. And I think that's what really like twisted the knife. Like we were like, okay, let's still make it like kind of a bop. So yeah, that song
and
is
like, I think with relatability, it's like that song I think also came, it was that session, but that session was also kind of like the third or fourth session in a row where we went in and kind of got no song that we liked out of it. And I think it was a matter of working with a few people who we didn't necessarily vibe with, or we had different visions. And that one particular session that sparked those lyrics for Karah was they were like a little more kind of shut down to any idea, which just like, why are you writing with people if you're just gonna shut down every idea? But and then we ended up doing a session the next day with our friend Andy, who like every single time we write with him and produce with him, it's like we love it because we have the same vibe, and he's very open, and like any sort of revisions or feedback or anything is like taken well on both sides, because like we know that the intention is good. So we went to him with like this kind of week of frustration, which doesn't happen to us, to be honest, like very often. It was kind of just it was a snapshot of time that had us overthinking for a second, because life is ups and downs, and that moment kind of was downs that ended up creating this song that is one of our best performing songs and our label's favorite song, which is very ironic, and like all this beautiful stuff came out of it. So we're very thankful for that. But yeah, I think it's just like we've realized that the music that has hit us the most is music that is like the most relatable, and like that really is in no way selling out. If anything, that's just healing more people and giving more people a crutch, because like as artists, you're also always riding the line of like being afraid of being relatable, but then realizing like, holy shit, the music that has changed my life is music that I relate to. So like, why am I putting this guard up? Like it's this double-edged sword that you're always kind of managing, you know what I mean?
Right. When you guys are like in the writing room, is it one person bringing the idea to all you guys, or are you guys kind of like collaborating on like maybe like all your perspectives on one idea to create a song?
Depends on the topic.
Yeah.
If it's
But
something
for like oh shit, it was like a kind of a collective. But for a song like, I don't know, Cure, I think it was like one of us brought that sort of like concepts. Not that it's like a groundbreaking concept, and that's the thing. Like I think that you don't always have to bring something that's like, check out this like insanely intricate like narrative and concept and whatever. Like I think it's just like, I don't know, I always like talk about like the band Camino, because we've mentioned them in this interview like previously, but like they're so good at like taking a very 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 universal concept and just like rewording it, A, into their own narrative, and like B, just in a way that like I've just never like heard it being said like that. Like for example, like the song Who Do You Think You Are? It's like such a common narrative and like even song concept. Like they're not groundbreaking with that concept. It's like, who do you think you are? Like I thought I was someone else and now I'm older and now I'm not. But like it's literally not about the concept that I think each of us bring. It's like I could bring the most basic overdone concept, and like I think the art of songwriting is like taking that concept and like just making it into like, I don't know, your own, and making it into like your story and wording it in such a way that is going to connect with people. And like that song by the band Camino is so heartbreaking. It's like literally one of my favorite songs in the world.
Me
It's
too.
incredibly written. And I just
And
look
it's
at
him
that and
talking
like,
to himself in the mirror.
Exactly.
is
And
what
like
hits
that's
them.
the twist that they've put on the narrative and stuff. And I think it's just like I like yearn to like find those like different ways of like writing a song, because like if you think about it, like none of our song concepts are particularly groundbreaking and stuff, I think. But when you work with people that you know and you trust, like my bandmates, and like each of us sort of like understand how the other person writes. So I think I know if I'm going to bring a concept or whatever, like they're going to add their own experiences to it. And like it all just becomes this thing, but it's like, not to be cheesy, but like we're kind of like one, you know what I mean? Because we've been friends for so long and we just have a very deep connection with each other. So I feel like we can sort of like write in this unified manner, and like it's just so hard to like even trace back like, well, who wrote this lyric and who wrote that melody and
Yeah,
whatever, because it's like
impossible.
it's just it's a we are throwing paint, and then at the end we're like, oh,
The
there's a
blender.
song, cheers. Like, you know, yeah, it's just a blender. When we work with a co-writer though, I think naturally you have to be more like articulate with like your ideas, because like we might just be meeting that person for the first time, like, but with us like we'll just give each other a look and we just know what we're doing and stuff. So it's different every time to answer the question, like but in the end it's like just about curating your ideas and concepts and stuff, and like however way we get there is doesn't really matter to me, you know. I might not write anything, you know, Rob might write the whole song or whatever, but it's just like however you get there, it's like that's all
Yeah.
that matters. So
Y'all are such a well-oiled machine. Like I could just feel it in this
Oh my
Zoom
God.
already.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It looks
in the
it
studio,
always looks different on the outside.
I'll
In the
give
studio,
ourselves credit. In
we're
the studio
pretty.
we work very well, but like any
But even
family,
then, you know, we
any
have
team,
times
like
where you know, like I don't want to create a false narrative about any sort of humans. Like
Yeah.
we're not like there's times in the studio where we butt heads really hard
Out
and
of
like
love, though. It's
for sure.
always
there's
out of love.
yeah.
In the
Yeah, and
studio.
there's like fights about what songs should be on the EP and what songs shouldn't. And like, you know,
Always.
we're for humans, you know what I mean? And like
yeah,
I think just like kind of off topic, there was this one like this artist named Conan Gray. I don't know, this will make sense in a second, but there was this artist named Conan Gray, and he was doing that like questions on Instagram thing, and someone was like, how do you have such like flawless skin? Like, give us your skin routine. And he replied and was like, I don't have perfect skin. I was using a filter. Like, I don't want to like make the world think that, you know, I have perfect skin, blah, 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 blah. And like, actually since then he's done like a lot of posting without like filters and stuff. And like, I feel like I like took that. I was like, wow, that is like a very beautiful and bold thing, because there's so much expectation to like be a certain way. And I feel that pressure as well, as like when we talk about as a band who we are. And like, it is true that like we glue really well in the studio, but like, I know what it's like to be a young band and watch interviews about people who talk about these like magic moments, and like you have this like awe moment of like, oh, like how come my band isn't like that? And there's always this like comparison, but the truth is like there are those amazing moments, but like there's also, like any job, like any relationship, as great as it is, there's also moments where like we struggle, and I just like any young artists who are listening to this right now who are like comparing themselves to like what we're saying, I also want them to know that like it's a lot of hard work, and the magic comes with the negatives and the positives, but like got to focus on those magic moments. And I think when you say we're a well-oiled machine, I think I really appreciate that, and I think that is because we try and only focus our emotional energy on the magic moments, you know, because they're like the really important ones, because you know negative things are inevitable, and you kind of just got to get past them and focus on the magic shit.
But a well-oiled machine always needs maintenance every now and again.
That's it.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
Mic drop. Mic
We work
drop.
really hard.
Mic drop.
Alex
No,
drop.
yeah, that was so well articulated. Like, it's so true. I feel like with any job, people are always like, oh, they'll see the end goal, but they don't realize the journey that it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And so they just assume that it's going to be smooth sailing, but you got to like put in the effort to get there.
That's
Yeah.
why The Climb by Miley Cyrus is my favorite song of all time. Like straight up, it's the best song ever written.
100%. I was watching this band Camino live, Instagram live once, and they were talking about a song that they would cover live as a band. What song would you guys cover? Like maybe a nostalgic throwback song
Ooh.
cover live.
Ooh.
The Climb by
The
Miley
Climb,
Cyrus.
honestly. Maybe what's the
7 things I
Avril-
hated.
I
what's
expect
the
to hear
Avril
that in
Lavigne song?
November. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. No. Oh, I keep holding on, or holding on. Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Avril Lavigne has so many bangers.
Yeah,
Canada.
Canada represents.
another Canadian. Yeah, no, I would. Maybe an Avril song. Hillary Duff. We'd probably go like
Oh,
Family Channel, Disney Channel, nostalgic. I think it would be funny to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
Hillary
like-
Duff.
We would do our classic cover of Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh yeah, everywhere
we
by
would,
Fleetwood
we
Mac.
would, we
That'd
would
be
do
cool.
that. We used to play that live. That was
Yeah, we
the
used to
first
cover
song
that.
that Mickey and I heard that Rob and Alex like recorded together. Rob like DM'd it to me on Facebook
Yeah.
back when I had Facebook. And Mike and I were just like, what? Like, we need to like work with these people. Like, that was another like moment that we had where we were just like, man, there's something here. Like, and we just attached ourselves. But
Yeah.
That's awesome.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I would re.
Bring that in the
Intro.
set. Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
It's a fun one.
I want to go back to when you were talking about the band Camino and kind of the simplicity of the concepts. When you guys wrote "Oh shit," like I feel like that concept, you guys broke it down and made it so simple, but
Mhm.
everyone, of course, in the moment is always like your mind is chasing. Like,
Yeah.
talk about that song and that creation and
Yeah.
everything.
I love that song. I
That
love that. I
song-
love that whole process.
Yeah, that process was, I mean, we wrote that over Zoom in one night with our friend Jorgen Odegaard,
Wow.
an amazing songwriter and producer. It was actually the same week, I think we wrote 1999, because it was all happening at the same time. Like everything was just like a big wave of music and inspiration. So yeah, we got on with Jorgen one night and we were just like talking, and there were a few prompts that started the concept. Someone came up with the line of like, "Oh shit, are we in love?" And I don't know, to me, like you were saying, those "oh shit" moments, like that's just a common phrase that I haven't heard in a song yet, particularly. So we're like, that feels fresh, but still classic and like very relatable. So we kind of ran with the idea, and we were just talking about those "oh shit" moments that you have. And we tried to frame it in the idea of a relationship. Some of us in the band have been in relationships for a long time and have had those "oh shit" moments very early on, and just like realized that we found our person. And I don't know, it just felt like something that needed to be said. And we haven't really done a love song particularly that like kind of is on the nose like that. We've always kind of been a bit more coded maybe with it, because it is hard to do that kind of concept and not maybe make it too kitschy or not, genuine to our story. So we're really happy that we kind of nailed the narrative, and it's still very classic Valley in the sense of like the first verse is kind of like a story, like you drop your keys, I pick them up in a record shop, all this stuff, and then it kind of dances around this one concept of like, oh shit, you've been in front of me the whole time, I've looked for love forever, and it just was right in front of me. And it's just one of those kind of like magical moments that you experience as a human sometimes. And some people are still searching, some people haven't had their oh shit moment yet, and that's okay. But I think, that song could be related to anybody, even if someone doesn't have their person. They have that moment with a friend or with their dog or whoever, that they're like, oh shit, like you're my favorite thing ever. So yeah, I'm really happy there's like that escape. Our fans have that kind of escape with that kind of song, because we write songs about a lot of different stuff, but I feel like we were missing that kind of one puzzle piece of that emotion. So I'm happy.
I mean, let's be real. In high school, listening to "You Belong with Me" by Taylor Swift, I was like screaming that, crying, 15-year-old in love for the first time. You know what I mean?
I saw this
if you could
online.
see that.
There was like
Relatable.
a meme online from high school. Like it's like me in high school, and it's like me in the locker room with the boys, like blasting like Lil Wayne, but then going home and closing the door and just blasting one time after.
Dude, that was me.
Because that was literally everybody. Like I was going home and just bumping the whole Beaver record. Like I was.
Yeah.
It was fact.
Dude, in high school, I had like my like skateboard group of friends, and then I had my like high school group of friends that was like majority girls, because all the guys in high school, I mean, other than like my best friend Josh and Chris and stuff, like most of the guys in high school were just so like, I don't know, just like not my vibe. And like I found this like group of friends who like I would send my really poorly recorded and written like songs to, because I could not show my skateboard friends that, because we were like going to the park and listening to like Slim Shady and NWA, which, to be fair, incredible music. But like I would go home and write these like super sappy, like horrible songs at like 2 a.m. crying over the piano, and like I would send it to like my friends that like were into that kind of thing, and they would be supportive. And that was the first time where I was like, whoa, like music could be like real. And like it's so true. That is the funniest tweet. I need to find that and repost it.
It is like we all had our secret like Taylor Swift Bieber dance parties in our bedrooms.
Never Shout Never. Oh
yeah.
My friends heard me listening to Never Shout Never.
Oh yeah.
No more kick flips for me.
I feel like I recently listened to that in the car and was just like, oh my God, I'm taken back.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good.
And you guys closed the EP with Tempo.
Yes.
Again, banger. I want to talk about the outro. It's like, it's such a vibe. How did you guys visualize a moment and try to create music around it? How did that sort of come about? That was
a buzzer beater moment. So
yeah.
I mean, to be fully fair, I was just messing around. I always felt like the song needed like one more, like it needed like a landing. Like the song just went by too quick. And I love that song so much, but like it just kind of ended, and I was like, oh, I like want more from this. So one night, like full honesty, I took a weed gummy and was just like vibing hard, and I was like in Logic, and I just started putting in all these sounds from the song and just like sampling, and kind of made this drum groove. And then I was really obsessed with this song called Good Days by SZA. It has this very kind of like slow motion, like just beautiful, beautiful song. And I don't know, I just wanted to take a piece of that because it was so part of my like world that week, and just put it into Tempo. So I just kind of like made this little outro thing. I brought it to Karah and Mickey and Alex when we were working together and finishing the song. And then Karah added these like cricket hi-hats and all this like weird kind of like insecty percussion, because we wanted to kind of feel like the nighttime. It's almost like the song went into nighttime mode. And we wanted to kind of feel like, you know, after going out with your friends, you're going to Denny's at 2 a.m. Like that's kind of the vibe. So we literally slowed down the song. And again,
I mean, it's literally, we can change the tempo.
We can change the tempo.
So funny. Yeah, right.
I actually can't imagine. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
No, I was gonna say I can't imagine the song without it at this point. And I just remember that moment like you sent us the version of it, Rob, like the night before or something, but we had like a studio day the next day, and then it was in your basement, Mike. And we ended up like putting everything in and it all just like sat so well, and it hit so hard. And it was a no-brainer for sure.
It was one of those things where it's like where the song was just like done, and then like Rob came with that like outro idea the next day, and he sent me an audio file to put in just to like vibe it out. We clicked play, and we were like, oh yeah, obviously, like this is exactly what I needed. And then it was just like we just kind of pumped it up a little bit, and it's done.
And we did those like Queen guitars live now.
Oh, yeah.
Like I like go on like Mickey's back and we like do like the solo, and it's really fun. It's like a moment live, and we make it like very I don't know, there's like a build up to it, which I love.
Yeah, you guys get to go on tour with Coin coming this fall. Live music is back. How excited are you guys to perform in front of your fans again, to get back on the road?
I can't believe it's happening. It just, there was a point where I just like, we didn't know if it was going to happen. I mean, this year was just wild. Like every day was like just a test of our kind of like emotions. If it's like, are we going to tour at all? What's happening? And there's been a lot of highs and lows on the touring spectrum, but we're just
And
very
let's not
happy to-
jinx it.
well,
'Cause
I know, not jinxing, knock on wood
it's not
right
that
now.
way.
But
That's
we're
just
just super thankful. I mean, we just did a mini run and did some festivals and did the Ryman show, and like just getting a taste of what the fall will hopefully be like was really, really nice. And obviously touring has
It's just
changed.
nice to like get into like a routine, you
I
know,
know
like
that's the best part of touring.
I think just like
other than the
touring
fans.
it's like summer camp, you know, and I think it can be really nice just to have like a routine after. I don't want to say like during the pandemic, it's just like it's hard to have a routine during the pandemic because it's like it was so routine. It was like, oh, wake up, do the exact same thing. It's like I don't want that's not the routine that I want. You know what I mean? Like, but when you go on tour, it's like you have like a productive routine. You feel like there's like a purpose, like you just feel like you're a part of something, and like it is really nice. And also obviously just like playing on stage is like something we love to do. It's a huge part of our band. So getting to do that again will be nice. And also meeting our fans and just like making that connection and stuff is like hugely important to us. And I remember doing like some Zooms and stuff with like listening parties with our fans, and just seeing all the faces and stuff, and it made me so happy but also sad because I'm like, I want to see you in person, like I want to meet you and whatever, but like it's just, I mean, unfortunately it's like that also doesn't look the same as it did before because COVID still exists obviously, and just like keeping people safe and keeping our crew safe, and you know, so but it's like amazing to be back, to be able to have the opportunity to get back on the road, obviously. So that in itself is good.
Nice. I'm actually curious, when you guys are in the studio, are you guys creating songs and thinking about what it's going to sound like live?
Oh yeah.
More so
Always.
now than more. Like I don't know if we did that with Maybe. Sucks we started doing that though. And then we were like, oh, like there's a way of doing it in tandem. And now it's kind of like second nature. I feel like whenever we're adding a part, it's like, oh, this is so sick in studio. Oh, this would be really cool live. Or how do we make this like a little more energetic? Or how do we, oh, maybe let's add like a extra bar here because, you know, we'll translate.
Or
really
let's save this arrangement for live. Like sometimes we'll produce something out and we'll be like, that feels too much like that's what we'll do live. But the studio version, like the, you know, when you're in your headphones falling asleep to it, it needs to do this, like just feeling wise. Also, we think about the music video and we think about the artwork and like we think about stage. When you're an artist, you kind of have to like encompass. I mean, it just happens naturally. You encompass all of the things kind of at once.
Thinking about live, to be honest, helps us because like you said, it like it just, you know, I might want to throw in an extra melody or a run or something, and it's like, oh, like that just makes it too busy. But live, like I could do that. Like it's always kind of it's a great reference to have, I find, for us. It helps us make decisions because we can be like, oh, like if someone's really passionate about something, but we're like, there's just no room in the song anymore. Like we know that we can maybe put it in live. So you always have that kind of comfort that, oh, it's not going to be forgotten about. We can just add it to the live arrangement. And I love that.
Nice. I guess talking about on-stage moments, what were some of like your like in awe like on-stage moments, if you can like pinpoint one? Maybe
the first Maybe jacket was really cool. People showed us, they made like homemade Maybe jackets, and like
Wow.
gave it to us on stage, and I would wear it for a song and then give it back kind of thing. Like, and that was crazy because that was our first album ever and like one of our first tours, and just seeing people do that, you're like, wow, fuck, like this is real. Like this actually affects people to the point where they will do that. You know what I mean? We're not just opening for this artist. Like we actually have fans here, and our music didn't just hit a playlist. It actually like affected them to the point where they will go out of their way to make a jacket, which is like a lot of effort. Like that's great. Like that's real fans. And like, that was our first moment of going, oh shit, like this isn't just data, you know, this isn't just analytics on a screen. Like that's a real human doing a real thing. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I do want to do some rapid fire questions if y'all are down.
I love rapid fire.
We're down. Let's do it super quick. What was your guys' first concert?
Avril Lavigne.
First concert that I went to ever, Duran and Neon Trees Open. But yeah,
I literally don't remember. I think it was my brother's show. My brother was in a band in high school. I don't know.
Nice.
I can't answer that. Sorry. I literally have no idea.
Favorite Disneyland ride?
Oh my gosh. I just went to Disneyland.
Soarin'.
I went literally the other day. Soarin', but honestly, the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. What am I even saying? The Star Wars Rise of Resistance ride is the best ride I've ever been on in my life. It's not even a ride. It's a 15-minute like adventure and experience. It's ridiculous. I can't even put into words what that ride. It's not a ride. It's just not a ride. Like it's actually, I don't know how they do it. It's like magic and illusions and shit. Like that's the best ride ever.
It's crazy.
Hands down. Soarin'.
I think mine would be tied between the Rock and Roller Coaster and Disney World is the Florida one, right?
No, we're talking Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland. Well, okay, so Disney World has the Rock and Roller Coaster tied with Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Go-to karaoke song.
Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus.
Oh, The Climb.
And New One Direction song.
Yep. Shania Twain for Karah, I would say.
Yeah. That don't impress me much.
There you go.
What do you think, you're Elvis or something? Like that's my thing. That's my personality.
Did Alex say something?
Oh, I said any One Direction song.
Nice. Dream collab.
Coldplay.
Claro.
Yeah, Coldplay too. Yep.
Casey Musgrave, I think. One of many, but Casey.
Nice. Go-to clothing piece.
Oh, what I'm wearing right now. I bought this at Melrose Trading Post in LA. It's a really cool company called Nyori. It's a Korean company. This guy, shout out. They're amazing.
Black hoodie.
The shade. Alex used to make fun of me for wearing a black hoodie.
Well, now that's all I wear. Not all I wear, but I wear a lot of black hoodies.
Remember when you used to make fun of me?
I did. I was like,
because you spent $120 on a hoodie. That's why.
No, I didn't. It was from H&M. I spent like $12
I thought it
was
was the Simons one that was like. Oh, that was the gray hoodie.
No,
that was a nice hoodie though.
Different hoodies.
No, I believe.
Yeah, I said crew neck. Why are we so? Yeah, we're casual people.
Yeah.
Sweaters.
Okay, and because you guys are going on tour, the last question: what is your favorite song to perform live?
Ooh.
Shit.
Shit Are We in Love? Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'd say my favorite old song to play live is A Phone Call in Amsterdam, just because it's such a fun little jam. My favorite new song is probably Oh Shit. Yeah.
Ooh.
Mine is Home.
It's honestly the easiest for me.
Oh, Homebody's fun.
Oh, so fun.
But we haven't learned Can We Make It, Cure, or My Girl.
So many.
I feel like Can We Make It will actually be my favorite to play live.
That one's gonna
be
nuts.
Except your wrist.
I know. I'm just literally. I'm
cutting the steak.
It's very It's very fast. So
it's gonna be a lot.
The drums are crazy in that song. Karah has her work laid out for her. She has to
I have
sing.
my work cut out for me. I know. I have to figure that out.
It'll sound great.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I I'm gonna be at the show in Vancouver, so I can't wait to see you
Yes.
guys live.
Yeah.
Um,
Great
Great.
to meet you.
yeah, everybody, make sure you go stream Last Birthday. It is now out, I guess, everywhere.
Yep.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Where you can find it.
Holy shit.
If you guys want to plug anything, we'll wrap up the podcast. But
Yeah, we're going on tour.
Stream Last Birthday.
Stream Last Birthday.
soon.
Show her some love and take care of her. Take her on road trips. Take her to
Theater.
the grocery store.
Crack
Yeah,
a
just
window.
crack a window for her. Just take care of her. She's our baby.
Take care of her. Feed her.
Feed her,
That.
yeah.
That's actually funny.
And show it to everyone you know, because it means a lot to us. So we love you. Anyone that's listening, we love you, and you're welcome to a Valley show, and you're welcome anytime. We'll have you.
well, thank you guys so much for chatting. That was
Thank
Valley
you.
on the
Thank
Hangout.
you. Woo!
Thank you
Hang
so
out.
So much said.
You're the best.
Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave us a comment and review on our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're tuning in from. Make sure to like and subscribe as well so you know when new episodes come out. I would also really appreciate it. You can follow us along on all of our socials at the Hangout CA. That's it for now. We'll see you next week.